Okay. Now we're good to go.
Now the calmness. So welcome for another episode of the BIMTech Podcast. And today, for a bit of a chat, I'm joined by Josh Hutchinson, who's one of our BIM Project Managers. And I'll pass over to you, Josh, anyway, to do a bit of an introduction.
Yeah, hi, I'm Josh Hutchinson. I've worked here for just over 2 years now, and recently become into the position of project manager.
So Josh, anyway, just to say, as one of our project managers, Josh is sort of quite a key role in the Manchester office and sort of wider team as well throughout the other offices. Recently working on Regent's Quarter, which has been quite a testing project.
Certainly has. Yeah. I think we called it an easy project at the start, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah. That's why we went wrong. That's why we went wrong.
Yeah.
Can't call the project an easy project.
We always start them all saying they're all easy. They never are. But anyway, just before we delve into projects or whatever, just wanted to ask you just briefly sort of bit of your background on sort of maybe education and how you sort of found yourself getting into this sort of position.
So, I mean, from early days at school, maths, engineering based things, computers, was always my interest anyway. And leaving sixth form, it was a case of I wanted to get more into the real world rather than staying in education. So managed to get an apprenticeship in engineering, and that was where my foot was in the door really for building services, and that's where I've been really, certainly on the design side of building services for the past almost 13 years now. From doing work experience at school, I did that based in an engineering office, so even for the first bit of experience I had doing real work, real world stuff, it was doing, well, not this specifically, but doing engineering design in an office, and I could see myself really leaning into that, which I have.
It's funny that you say you wanted to drop the education side and get into real world sort of working, and now you work in the virtual world.
And now I work in the virtual world. Oh yeah, so real it's virtual again.
Yeah. So you joined, like you said there, you joined with us like a couple of years ago. So prior to that, sort of work-wise, where did you? I mean, I know where you come from and everything.
Do you want to say the actual places I was working?
We don't have to say the names, but the sort of work you were doing. Because you weren't actually, although it was building services, it wasn't specific building services as we work in building services. Yeah. It was quite niche, weren't it?
Yeah, so, well, where I first started working, where my apprenticeship was building services consultancy. So that was the full shebang. And then from there, I moved into a really specialised role of designing swimming pool filtration systems. And that was for coordination in plant rooms and, still working with architects and structural engineers. But it was a very specialised role. So coming back into the full-blown building services world again was a bit of a step, I suppose, into rethinking about every other service that I haven't been thinking about for a few years. And one of the things that really eased me into that, actually, the internal trading system that we've got here. So even just giving myself a recap on the basics, and I was like, yeah, okay, I remember that. And just giving me a refresher on all the things I hadn't been focusing on for a few years was really valuable. Yeah.
No, that's really good. It's good to hear that somebody actually does the training. And
yeah. Well, yeah. When I've got time.
Yeah. So, like I say, you've been here 2 years, and like in that 2 years, sort of, can you just tell us a little bit about sort of your personal journey, sort of the projects you've worked on? And
yeah, the first year I was doing quite varied bits of work, and that multiple projects, multiple different things, which was it was good again to help alongside the training modules of getting back into the role of thinking of many services, which is good. And in fact, one of the projects was at Everton was very focused on builders work as well. So it's as if all of that has come together to help make Regent's Quarter like the final product of all the things I've been doing for the first year and a half here, or year or so.
Just going on to Everton there just for a minute, because obviously everybody will know about the new Everton football ground and things like that. But like you say, you were focused just on builders work there, because that has become sort of like a bit of a bane of everyone's life at the minute, hasn't it? The builders work.
It has. I think for Everton specifically, it wasn't so bad when it comes to trying to get coordination to work with it, because it was a new build. I think coming to do refits on buildings that aren't suited for very stringent builders work rules is when we've got a lot more to think about. So
you're finding that buildings are now being built with some of this builders work requirements in mind?
I do feel like I'm quite an optimist when it comes to this sort of thing, thinking, architects will probably have some sort of knowledge around this before they start building a building to give us the same sort of, to give us more space than we ever used to do. Yeah. And I think if it is a new build scheme, at least you've got the chance to suggest changes before anything gets finalised. And if we need more space in a ceiling void across the whole building, it's something that can at least get challenged before the building gets built. When it comes to refits, it's a bit of a different game.
Yeah. So do you think then, because obviously we're, as a business, we normally get involved maybe stage 4 to 5.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, because of the knowledge we know about how it's going to be built and installed, we should be getting involved in projects earlier than that, so that we can sort of put a bit of influence on the actual architectural side of things?
I think it would be, obviously there's pros and cons of doing that, but if the earlier we got involved, the better. I think is the crux of that, and hopefully from lessons learned of projects going forwards, I think is another thing, not specifically for us, but for architectural firms or structural firms. The problems that we're bringing up about spatial needs and coordination needs would get carried forward on other companies' parts to be like, well, the next project is something that we kind of need to bear in mind because the rules are getting more and more stringent. That would be my hope on it.
In an ideal world.
In an ideal world, yeah.
Yeah. So if we then move on to like the latest project that you're working on at the moment, and thankfully, touch wood, no wood around, but touch summit, we're getting close to finishing our phase of work anyway, which is Regent's Quarter in London. And as you sort of alluded to a little bit earlier, it is I think majority of it's an existing build. I think there's a couple of floors been extended on the top of it, but the bulk of it is existing.
Yep.
And I mean, I know I've had a little bit of involvement in the project myself, but there's been some proper big obstacles, haven't there?
Yep.
I mean, just chucking a couple out there is what you were saying before when we talk about builders work again, because it is becoming sort of one of the sort of critical things. But I know trying to put a new sort of drainage system into an existing building where you're putting new stacks in and everything. And I know some of the rules for positioning a stack where you're putting a hole through a floor, and it's like from the edge of a slab to the hole has to be something like a metre.
Yeah.
From a column to a hole has to be 1.5 metres. It has to be, is it a metre between openings and
whatever it was, it was.
And it was just, I just
too much to work with sometimes.
It's just a bit ridiculous,
Yeah.
and that's just trying to get a new drainage system into the building.
Yeah,
and then on top of that, then you had all the additions of the rule sets for sort of, especially for the fire rated walls.
Oh yeah,
and I think they were, as they are on all projects now, forever changing these rule sets.
Yeah,
and they never change in our favour. They just seem to get worse and worse. The rules,
even while being just in this project, it seems like British Gypsum have updated the rules that we now have to comply to, even though the project design started before those rules changed.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an uphill battle, I think, for the builders' work at the moment,
Yeah.
but especially in a building where we've already got predefined slab heights and ceiling zones and the floor slabs as well, and the floor layouts not being favourable to fitting in new design.
Because like you mentioned there with the existing slabs and ceilings, the ceilings have had to keep being lowered and lowered, haven't they, by the architect because of the sort of deflection heads required above builders' work openings.
That's it, yeah. So every time we come back with a new when we come back with a redesign to suit the builders' work rules structurally, it's always at the detriment of the architect then, because the structure isn't going to move.
Yeah.
We then are defined by the rules, and therefore the architect has to do something about it. So it's a continuous battle between all parties at the moment, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so just moving off projects a little bit, just onto sort of your own personal experience at BIMTech with the team you work with and everything. Yeah. How have you found that sort of settling in with everybody? I know you've been here 2 years, so you're well settled in now, but like coming in, settling into a new team and sort of...
I've had nothing but good things to say about working here. And I think the first point that I realised that this was just going to be a good team to work with, within the first 3 weeks, I think that was St. Paddy's Day. And
I remember that one.
And everyone just gathered up and said, right, we're going to finish early and we're going to go and sit in the pub at St. Paddy's Day. I was like, great. Never done that before. Yeah. This is the sort of team that I could definitely get along with.
I think that particular
we'll keep the rest of the story out off the internet, I think.
I don't think it finished in the manner it started anyway.
Certainly didn't, but I knew some people a lot better then. Yeah.
So you enjoy sort of the culture of the company and the team you work with.
Yeah.
Because I think we have a mixed age group, but I think it is a relatively youthful sort of team we have.
It's certainly the let's say the youngest work team that I've worked with before. But I mean, when I first started, I was 17, so I would have been one of the young teams.
Yeah.
So yeah, coming into an office that is as youthful as it is I think it's really good, and provides a lot more opportunity for like training and for mentoring and for like fresh ideas as well of everyone that's in the team, really.
Yeah. So like you said, when you started as well, because of the experience you had prior to joining us, you come in as like I think it was a lead coordinator sort of role. And like you said, this year you've been promoted to sort of the BIM project lead. And that's basically on the back of like your own progression that you've sort of driven it yourself. But I think on Regent's Quarter you've been chucked in at the deep end. Like you said earlier, when we first picked the job up, we thought it was going to be quite a simple job. It was more, when we took it on, it was more of a sort of a check-in exercise for us, doing clash detections, a bit of reporting, and then producing a set of construction issue drawing sheets from an existing model. That has massively changed now. I think that model we were given at the start to do the checks on has no resemblance to the model we have today.
I don't think a single element of that will be the same now.
No. So I don't think when you pick that job up, it wasn't meant to be the size of job it's turned into. No. But I think for your personal growth and everything, it's probably been a good thing.
Yeah. I just, you threw me at the deep end, didn't you? So, and
sink or swim in it.
Yeah, and I've been swimming, so it's been all right actually. Despite the challenges on the project, it has been okay. Yeah, but I'm ready for it to be over.
Move on to the next project. That's the trouble is it's just relentless, isn't it? It's one project.
The next one's going to be the easy one though. So
I know. I did tell you that about 2 days ago. Give it a week and I'll
Yeah.
tell you something different. Scope will have changed again. But yeah, no, that's all good. And then sort of work-life balance, sort of obviously work is important, but also we do like people to have a healthy work-life balance. So what outside of BIMTech keeps you active and
my main outlet outside of work is music, and that's both going to gigs and playing gigs as well. I did slow down a bit last year, but got the band back together for a gig coming up next month. But yeah, it's a fundraising gig that I'm doing in memory of one of my mates who sadly passed away earlier this year. But we're back practicing, which is good, and ready to put on a good show, really.
Yeah. So you're saying you've got a gig coming up very, very soon?
Very, very soon.
And what is it? You play guitar?
So yeah, I play guitar, and I'm also the vocalist in the band, and I also write all the songs and the music. So I also play drums and bass. So yeah, that's like my whole thing outside of work.
Now for your viewing pleasure.
He's going to play us out with a song.
And we're just going to pan over to the drum kit that's set up over here. But yeah, that's like me outside of work.
Yeah.
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah. And then just something I wanted to touch on was whilst you've been here, you're one of the few people who's had an opportunity to. You went over and worked in New Zealand for
2 weeks, yeah.
A couple of weeks.
Certainly did, yeah.
How did you find that?
So, just to give some context, some of the work on Regent's Quarter was offered up to the guys in New Zealand to help us hit dates, basically. And that came with its own challenges, staying in contact with country the furthest away could possibly be from here, which was, again, something else that I think went fairly well. But yeah, getting out there to meet the team in person was certainly much better than, Teams calls and emails. But yeah, over there was brilliant. Managed to catch the end of summer, so it wasn't too hot for me, but it was glorious weather when it should have been autumn. So I know when it should have been the end of winter, I think. When did we get? March? Yeah. So quite cool when we left here. Really hot when we got there. And yeah, I mean, the work-life culture over there, I'd say, is not far off like how we have it here, which is, again, different from places that I've worked before. There's a good emphasis on, having a good work-life balance and keeping the team happy with like social events and etc. So yeah, it was really good to go and work over there and meet the team and see what they do outside of work hours as well. Yeah, that's good.
And stuff. And then sort of looking ahead, sort of for you, sort of personally and work-wise, I guess, if there's, I don't know, we've talked about this off air, but if there's an opportunity in New Zealand, would that be still something you'd be interested in, sort of moving over there permanent or for a few years or something like that?
At least like, short-term permanent, like a couple of years maybe to start with, let's say. I think the next one we do might be on Link for midnight where I am. Yeah,
on midnight where we are. One or the other. Yeah. And what about career-wise? Where do you?
Just hoping the next project goes at least smoother than the Regents did. Not that was anything to do like on our end for it being rough as it was. But yeah, to just get in that groove of
I think fundamentally Regents had a major issue with it being an ISG project and them going into liquidation sort of halfway through the project. I think when you put everything into the mix, it had just about everything, that project.
Yeah, it really did. So from the easy project to that, that's why we never call them the easy project.
I know. We always start. Everyone, when we get asked to price jobs, that's what everyone tells us. When they give us a job to price, they say, it'll be dead easy. This will be the easiest job you've ever done. And that's what we get told on them all when we're putting the prices together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm hoping your long-term futures with BIMTech.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm hoping for your benefit, for our benefit, that that does give you the opportunities in New Zealand as well, because that'd be good for you, be good for the growth of BIMTech, and it'd be all good that. So just to sort of finish this little chat off, if you could go back in hindsight, with the knowledge you've now got, if you could go back to you day one joining BIMTech, what advice would you give yourself?
So I'd definitely say just chill out, work hard, play hard, because everyone here's got your best interests in mind.
Nice answer.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Josh.
Right, thank you.
Cheers.
Have you guys bought your tickets yet? No.
The tickets all sold out for that now.
They're not sold out, so
there you go.
Go
get
to
your
the ticket link, which is something.
Which will be below this now.
Oh yeah, click on the top corner, or it'll be in the comments. I don't know how you do it. Well, when's this video going to go out? Because it might have happened by then.
Yeah, probably. Knowing what these two
18th
are like.
July. So it'll be the day before. It's tomorrow. Yeah.